Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So new archetype, Manadome, I hope I pronounced them right. They are fantastic. It's actually quite of a solid archetype that we're getting, you know, featuring the Scareclaw cards, Visa, Starfrost, lore, etc. It's a very splashable archetype. The archetype is somewhat synchro based. I feel it's like a combination of Virtual World and Sword Soul. So Emancipators maybe because you're solely focused on synchro summoning. Of course there are some link summons because of the Visa, Starfrost and the Scareclaw engine, but they're just there for support. Your main to go to synchros are, as you'll be seeing, probably level 6, level 8, more so level 10. Baron is probably the most important one. Games going first, games going second, again just to showcase the potential of the archetype in current, you know, TCG format. Or, you know, with the current TCG ban list. So the thing is that the Scareclaw engine is basically a support engine. You know, multiple times to get either Visa Starfrost on board or the level 4, the Reno Heart one, you know which one I mean. The one that has the capability to special summon itself to like a Scareclaw column or one of the zones next to it. So it's basically just extending. Again, very similar to Emancipators, you're establishing your board full of synchros. I should probably respect Nibiru, but again, nowadays nobody is really playing Nibiru, so you can definitely play around it by going for an early Baron, because again, your first synchro is probably going to be a level 10 one. And that depends, like, which extenders you have, which other options you had. One of the new ones, the level 4 Realm Heart, the one you see here on screen, is basically a Stratos, plus has the same special summoning capability like Visa Starfrost. You know, special summon it from hand, popping something on board. You know, popping something of, or at least the two new ones, right? Both of them are level 2. And that's where the gimmick of the new archetype comes into play, is that they are very similar to Patton the Dark Clown. Who remembers that card, right? It's a very old school card, but he can miss timing. But these two ones, they can't. So again, when they're like destroyed on the field, you can special summon another one, so very similar to Patton or Nimble Momonga, right? Special summon another name from the deck. And then depending on which one you destroyed, there is a water one, I forgot their names. There is a water one, water level 2, they're both tuner by the way, and there is it an earth one? It's not too important, well, it could be important because they are non-dark. I think the water one is the best one because she has the capability to increase her level, her level. This is also one of the new ones. It's a fusion, and you can easily get it on the field by just going for a contact fusion, you know, by using the materials from your graveyard as well. So it's basically a free level 8 on the field, and, you know, very similar to Emancipators, using your level 2 tuners, that's just an easy to go to level 10 synchro play. So an easy Baron, an easy Sword Soul, level 10 synchro, right? The archetype also got a new level 10 synchro, which I feel, you know, it could just be there as somewhat of a boss monster, potentially poke for a game, push for a game, very similar to one of the Red Dragon synchros, right, that has the capability to attack multiple times during the same battle phase. So I added this one against, whatchamacallit, like, shenanigans.tech, right? It was an okay one. But I got kinda saved here with talent, so gaining control, using one of the new spells that states that you can destroy a card on your field, a monster, to search, for example, the field spell, the new field spell of, you know, your Manadome cards. Plus, if you already have the field spell on board, you won't be searching the field spell, you can search any of the Manadome spells or traps. And, you know, they have like a Destiny draw, which is okay. They get an Infernity Barrier one, the one I have in hand. You need to control like a synchro, but again, in this archetype, it's super easy. And that Infernity Barrier counter trap ally card also has a built-in Pot of Errors effect, so up to 3, I think. So basically, you can resend your level 2s from your graveyard back to the deck. But, I mean, you can banish itself from the graveyard, right? And that, you know, triggers your Sword Soul level 10, so it all comes down together. Speaking of Sword Soul against, at least as for this particular matchup, again you're playing multiple engines. Droll is kind of strong against this deck. I mean, against this variant, you know, it's still the first day of testing. You could play around Droll, I guess, but I mean, it's there. Nibiru also, but I mean, you can just go for an early Baron and go from there. Like, these fields, it's not that hard for the deck, because you're playing, again, very similar to Emancipators, many extenders, right? You have the Scareclaws, you have the in-archetype level 2s that can potentially turn themselves into level 4 tuners, etc, etc. So a couple of interruptions. Have the Emancipator Water one to negate the spell and trap from the opponent. Here I can interrupt. I guess probably should have done this sooner. With the Sword Soul level 10, banish something on field and in graveyard. But again, I have that counter trap in grave, so I can, just banish it, send back up to 3 or 3 as a whole, right? So it's basically a pot of avarice for the archetype. Again, going first, I feel one of the stronger normal summons is the level 4 Scareclaw, because again, that one searches your monster reborn, plus it, goes into your Link one. I mean, this is not new. It searches their field spell, and that field spell searches your Visa Starfrost, which finally becomes like a... I mean, it was okay-ish in the past, but now it becomes a super solid extender, tuner, starter. Well, starter, not really, but you know what I mean. It's a very powerful card here in this, are splashed with this particular newer archetype. So again, I'm just going to end on the same board, right? Like, opening double level 10 synchro play is really easy for this deck. The Link 1 might be a dead card, but again, as I mentioned before, there are some cards that can capitalize on a useless monster on your field. Visa Starfrost, for example. One of the new spells that pops a monster and searches something, basically a terraforming. So, I mean, it's not useless, right, when it's on the field. Same for the tuners, the level 2s. You know, if very similar to Virtual World, you can go for Stardust, Charge Warrior, or Coral Dragon to upgrade. Maybe I should probably whatchamacallit, main deck the Ultimate Soulkin because of that. I mean, who knows? Yeah, it might be cool, right? Visa Starfrost as a tuner, maybe Stardust, Charge Warrior, non-tuner level 6, both level 6, so Soulkin might be cute. I'm not so sure about Fenrir, but I mean, it's a generic superb card. Again, I don't need to explain. Fenrir going strong against, well, going second as well. Bestials might be something to put in as well. Level 6, it's the thing is that, and that's probably the last thing that I'm going to mention, is that, by the time that we're getting these cards, we might, or we're probably going to be in a different format. As you saw in the OCG, like, Tier Elements is basically destroyed over there, same for Kashtira, with only one Fenrir and one Unicorn, and all of their field spells are like limited, right? Speaking of field spells, Konami keeps releasing those broken field spells, including this new one. But, I mean, short set, by the time we're getting this archetype, the format might, have been changed. Maybe Totus Band, swaps, very similar to the OCG. Tier Element being hit, Kashtira, maybe already power downs. Is that something that, even though this archetype, the Manadome, is super highly splashable, it's definitely a scary archetype, but in now, today's format with full power Ishizu tier, the deck is definitely better. But again, I think we can definitely expect like a ban list soonish, January, February. I'm not sure when we are getting these cards. I think the OCG gets this January? Something? I think so. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it's definitely something cool to try out. Refreshing Sword Soul Virtual World-ish kinda deck. But yeah, feel free to leave suggestions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Big signing out. Peace.